Hi, welcome to the video on teaching necessary skills to a child with a history of trauma. My name is Lynn LaPointe and I'm a board-certified behavior analyst. I am here on behalf of the Alabama Psychiatric Medication Review Team, a collaboration between Alabama's Department of Human Resources and the Auburn University Department of Psychology. This is the last video in a 3-video series designed to help you better understand how trauma may affect your foster child's behavior. In this first video, I gave you an overview of trauma and showed you how to communicate empathy to a child who may have experienced trauma. In the second video, I illustrated how trauma can affect your foster child's completion of self-care and chore skills. In today's video, I will show you how to effectively teach a child how to complete self-care and chore skills. Let's get started. As our previous trauma videos talked about, children who have experienced trauma may be lacking the skills to complete self-care and chore tasks. Even though this may be the case, we can still teach our children to appropriately complete those self-care or chore skills. As a reminder, self-care skills are daily activities we do to take care of our physical health, like washing our hands or brushing our teeth. Chore skills are routine household tasks, like picking up your toys or making your bed. Again, children in foster care who have experienced trauma may be lacking the necessary supervision, instruction, and examples needed to learn how to complete some of these tasks. But it's definitely possible for us to help our children learn these skills. In order to teach these self-care and chore skills to our children, we will need to use 3 tools. Task analysis, which is a step-by-step list of how to complete the task. Prompts, which are ways to provide guidance and assistance to our children. And rewards, which are incentives for completing the task. Let's jump into the first tool, task analysis. Task analysis is really just a fancy word for a to-do list. A task analysis is a step-by-step list that lists the specific steps of a skill. Now, when we are getting ready to teach our child the specific skill, we want to make sure that we write out each step of the task that we are teaching. The easiest way to do this is to do the task ourselves and then write down each step as we go. Let me give you an example. What are the steps of putting on deodorant? First, you want to get your deodorant. Next, you want to take off the cap. Then, the third step is to rub the deodorant under one arm and then rub deodorant under the other arm. Now, depending on the individual, you may have to go a little bit more in detail here. We don't want our child to barely rub on any deodorant because that won't do any good. But we also don't want them to put way too much deodorant on. So we might have to specify a time limit for how long they should be putting on deodorant, such as rub deodorant under each arm for 3 seconds. Now, after we put deodorant under our arms, we put the cap back on. And lastly, we put the deodorant away. And that is our task analysis for putting on deodorant. As you can see, it was a lot easier for me to write out my steps for the task analysis when I perform the task myself. Let me give you another example. What are the steps for teaching how to wash hands? First, you need to turn on the water. Second, you need to wet your hands. Third, get soap. Fourth, scrub your hands. After you scrub your hands, you need to rinse your hands, the 5th step of the task. 6th, turn off the water. 7th, dry your hands. And finally, 8th, throw your paper towel away if you're using a paper towel. Remember, the easiest way to write a task analysis is to do the task yourself and write down each step as you go. Now that we have reviewed what a task analysis is, let's move on to the second tool that we will use. Prompts. There are 3 different prompts that we can use when teaching our child a self-care or chore skill. Visual prompts, vocal prompts, and gesture prompts. Let's learn about each of these prompts. First, let's talk about visual prompts. How do visual prompts provide guidance when we are teaching our child a skill? A visual prompt is anything that we can see, such as words or pictures. If we wanted to use a visual prompt when teaching our child how to wash hands, we may post the steps and pictures in the bathroom so that the child can reference how to wash hands. If we were to teach our child how to sort laundry, we may post a few pictures where the child sorts laundry to indicate that colors go in one basket and white clothes go in another basket. If we needed to, we could also post the steps of the task and pictures to help the child learn the skill. Again, these visual cues will help the child to complete the skill by his or herself. The next type of prompts are vocal prompts. What exactly are vocal prompts? A vocal prompt is a verbal directive, and some examples include a full answer or part of an answer. I know, that sounds confusing. Let's do some examples. If I were teaching my child how to put toys away in the toy box once we're done playing with them, I may use a vocal prompt. I can use a full vocal prompt that indicates toys go in the toy box, or I could use part of a vocal prompt and just say toy box. Again, using a vocal prompt will help teach our child that the toys go in the toy box when we're done playing with them. The last type of prompts are gesture prompts. What exactly is a gesture prompt? A gesture prompt is an action that can be watched. Some examples include nodding or pointing. Let's go over some more examples. Let's go back to our example of teaching our child to put toys away back in the toy box once we're done playing with them. If we wanted to use a gesture prompt, we could simply point to the toy box or tap on the toy box to indicate that that's where the toys go. Again, the gesture prompts of tapping or pointing teaches the child that the toys go in the toy box. Another thing you could do is use two different types of prompts to teach a skill. Maybe the child needs to hear a vocal prompt, but also see a gesture prompt in order to learn the skill. Or maybe the child needs to see the steps of the skill, but also hear them read aloud. It is perfectly fine to combine any of the prompts in order to teach the child the skill. It's also important to remember that the child will most likely not need the prompts forever. Once the child has learned the skill, try taking the prompts away to see if the child is able to complete the skill. If the child is able to complete the skill, then there is no need to have the prompts there for the child. But if the child is still having some difficulty completing the skill without the prompts, put the prompts back in so that the child can have extra practice to learn the skill. Now that we have reviewed what a task analysis is and what prompts are, let's move on to the third and final tool that we will use, rewards. Rewards. Why do we want to use rewards in the first place? Rewards provide expectations. Our children will learn that when they complete a self-care or chore skill, they will earn a reward for completing that skill. Rewards also motivate good behavior. When rewards are used, children are more likely to engage in good, positive behaviors and less likely to engage in negative behaviors. Rewards also give choices. When our child completes the self-care or chore task, the child then has a choice of what reward he or she wants to earn. Rewards also increase following directions. When we use rewards, our child is more likely to follow our directions. And rewards also decrease problem behavior. Like I said earlier, when we use rewards, the child is more likely to engage in positive, appropriate behavior and less likely to engage in problem behavior. With rewards, it's really important that we deliver them consistently. If we say that we are going to give our child a reward every time he or she makes his or her bed, we need to make sure that we provide that reward every morning when the bed is made. If we say that we are going to give our child a reward if he or she makes the bed Monday through Friday, then we need to provide that reward at the end of the week if the child has made the bed every day, Monday through Friday. If we expect our children to be consistent with completing their tasks, we also need to be consistent on our end. It's also really important to provide genuine praise when our child completes a self-care or chore task. When we deliver praise to our child, we want to be sincere and label what it is that he or she is doing well. For example, we can genuinely say, excellent brushing your hair if our child is working on completing that task independently. In this example, we are directly labeling what it is the child did well, brushing your hair. If our child has been instructed to clean his or her bedroom, we can say, "Nice cleaning your room," once he or she has completed the task. Again, we genuinely labeled what the child did well, cleaning his or her room. We can also say, "Thank you for following my instructions," or "I appreciate your listening," when our children are completing the tasks that we have assigned them. Like I said before, it's really important to be genuine and sincere when delivering praise and to label what the child is doing well. When choosing our rewards, we want to make it special and we want to have options. Rewards should be something new or different to motivate the child to complete the task. If the child is already receiving an allowance, we don't want to use the allowance as a reward. We will need to do something a little bit extra, even if it's small. Some reward ideas include extra time to do a special activity like painting, picking a treasure out of the treasure box, earning a small piece of candy like Skittles or a small snack, time to play a favorite board game with the parent, or the opportunity to do something extra special like going to the park. If you're not certain about what the child would like to earn, it's a great idea to ask his or her opinion about what he or she wants to work for. And remember, like we discussed earlier, if we said we are going to deliver the reward every time the child completes the task, then we need to be able to deliver the reward every time the task is completed. If we can't do that, we should find a different reward that we will be able to deliver consistently. Now, to bring it all together, let's go through a role play scenario showing you all the steps used to teach a self-care or a chore skill. For this role play scenario, we will use a task analysis, prompts, and rewards to teach a middle school-aged boy how to put on deodorant, a skill he did not have upon entering foster care. Adam, I'd like to watch you complete your task of putting on deodorant.
Okay. First, get deodorant. Take off cap. Rub under one arm. Rub under other arm. Put cap back on. Put deodorant away.
Adam, you did all your steps. Nice work. You get to choose what breakfast you have this morning.
Yes.
Did you notice all of the tools used to help teach the skill? Adam had a task analysis or a step-by-step list of instructions for how to put on the deodorant. The task analysis also served as a visual prompt to teach him how to complete the skill. And lastly, I provided a reward once he completed the tasks appropriately. He got to choose what breakfast he had this morning. And again, all of these steps will help Adam how to learn how to complete the skill independently. Today, we have reviewed 3 different tools used to help us in teaching our foster child self-care and chore skills. First, we learned what a task analysis is, a step-by-step list of how to complete the self-care or chore skill. Next, we reviewed how to use 3 different types of prompts in teaching our child a skill: visual prompts, vocal prompts, and gesture prompts. And finally, we learned about the importance of rewards and how to best use them when teaching our child skills. Using these 3 tools will help our child learn the self-care or chore skill and help our child to complete the skill independently. I hope this video on teaching necessary self-care and chore skills to a child with a history of trauma has been helpful for your daily living with your foster child. On behalf of the Alabama Psychiatric Medication Review Team, thanks for watching.